Me, female, 48, and my BF, male, 58, have been together for 8 years. He recently moved in with me due to health issues I was having. This upset A. She believed we should sell BF's home to her. When A realized we would not sell to her, she demanded $20,000 to get her teeth fixed. Yes, they are that bad. BF let her know we would not help. She demanded to see a bank statement to prove he didn't have the money. The audacity. I will back up a little to tell you how I became the evil monster. When BF and I first started dating, BF paid A's car insurance, phone, and healthcare costs. At 26, BF stopped paying for A's healthcare. At 27, A got a DUI she hid from everyone. Fast forward 18 months. BF and I were on vacation and I got texts from A. She had been arrested for not having current vehicle registration. Weird, but I had no reason to not believe her. From vacation, I got her vehicle towed to avoid impound fees. I made multiple calls to BF and I made 2 trips to get A, 90 min away. The problem was she hadn't been released. Believing charges were due to expired tags, I paid for updated tags. After the second trip to get A, getting suspicious, I went to the courthouse to find she had an arrest warrant for a DUI, not expired tags. It was then we learned A needed a CD evaluation, had not paid her fines, and had a suspended license for the past 18 months. We were told A was not to drive until the judge reinstated her license per the court. BF and I picked her up 2 days later when A was actually released. At this point, A lied about the DUI and told us the judge said she could drive her own vehicle home. I called BS on this and was told to fuck off. You're not my mom. BF let her know he would not pay her vehicle insurance because of the DUI. Son's birthday was just a few weeks later. BF was told he could go, but not me. I asked why I'm good for her jail call but not for the birthday party. Then asked A to pay back the $1,000-ish I dropped on her vehicle. I was told to fuck off. She didn't owe me anything. Maybe I'm being petty, but I thought I deserved at least a thank you. Now back to the phones. We added A and Jisun to my plan years ago, Q2-ish years ago. I wanted a new iPad for Jisun and promised to pay for this. A only paid once. 1 year ago, A had to have a new phone. I promised to pay for this too. Her phone cost 3x as much as the other phones. After 1 year of A not paying, BF let A know we would keep her on our plan to get her our military discount, but A needed to pay her part. This did not go well. I told BF to pick between her and I then said more horrible things about me. At this point, I 100% realized A thinks I am a horrible monster and is playing a game of FAFO. I shut both phones off immediately. She was told I expected the phone and iPad to be transferred to a new plan or given to me by tomorrow. I know I acted hastily, but am I the idiot for shutting off their phones and making the demands I did? Now for a few comments before the update. I'm not sure you're qual. You're the idiot. But boyfriend is for not handling conflicts with his own daughter. I would immediately stop being the go-between. Then OP replied, this became crystal clear to me. It just took me a little longer than it should have to get there. Comment 2. Not the idiot, but I'm worried about your grandson. Is she able to care for him properly? Then OP replied, grandson mostly lives with great-grandparents, so A does not have to pay for daycare. Comment 3. Not the idiot. She is way too old to be pulling this crap, and it sounds like she either hasn't had consequences before or hasn't had hard enough consequences. The only way she's going to learn to be self-sufficient is to be forced into it. Everything you have asked for previously has been more than reasonable. And does she not have a job? Then OP replied, yes, actually has a good job and is making more money than I did when I was able to work. Comment 4. Why are BF and yourself paying her bills? She is an adult. Let her pay her own bills. Not the idiot, but you should never have paid any of her stuff, so you're the idiot. Comment 5. Not the idiot. She should have been paying for her own phone 10 years ago. Now for the update. So nothing like airing some dirty laundry and being given the gift of insight I wasn't planning on getting. So, thank you for your perspective and allowing me to step back and see the big picture. Here are some of my thoughts, clarifications. I do believe A has multiple addictions. She is choosing not to address gambling, sex, pain pills, alcohol. A's mom is a mental health counselor, and I was told to mind my own business when suggesting counseling could benefit A. Grandson's dad was a good guy who passed away this past year. Grandson lives mostly with great-grandparents, so A does not have to pay for daycare. A has a job, which is a good job for our town. She makes more than I did when I was able to work. BF has been supportive. He had tried to pull back from A previously, and I, obviously misguided, encouraged him to not cut ties. Hindsight. So here is the update on what happened after I shut down the phones. A ran to great-grandma and grandpa. Appears they are the real enablers who have been behind everything this whole time. They called BF, yelling at him, telling him that I put him up to everything, and how could he abandon his own daughter for me? He asked how asking his 30-year-old daughter to pay her phone bill, as promised, was abandoning his daughter. They told him how much money they are spending to support A and Jisan, and how horrible it is that they now have to spend more to support her because he is abandoning her. They told BF they would write a check for what A owed, and if he had the nerve to cash it, they would never allow him to have anything to do with A or Jisan again. I guess it became pretty clear who is in charge of A's world. I showed up at BF's work to return phone and gave him her birthday money to pay for iPad because she didn't want Jisan to lose it. I am still trying to figure out what 30-yo is still getting birthday money. Also, she gave him $290, but said she didn't have the money to pay the $120 portion of her phone bill. Am I the only one who thinks these numbers don't add up? BF offered A the chance to keep her phone and phone number by transferring both to her own or someone else's account. She declined. I took this to mean she chose to play the victim who had to get a new phone number and lose the number she has had the past decade. Gosh, writing this all out, it is like the trash taking itself out. Maybe that is harsh, but I have kept a lot bottled up for a while. Like many said, I do feel horrible for Jisan and the situation he is in. But I am also clear that I have no say in anything to do with him. And regardless, my opinion was never valued in that sense anyway. BF and I are both on board with going no contact. He was the one who initiated the conversation, and I had no problem agreeing. I am sure once we get through this, it will be quite refreshing. It will free up time for me to watch some Judge Judy now for a few comments. I definitely think the great-grandparents aren't being told everything and are enabling what they think is best. As for the what 30-year-old still gets birthday money, I'm 37, my brother 35 and sister 30, and our grandma still gives us $25. She's given for every birthday we have ever had. My mom still gives each of us socks and a cake, and that's it. Long story. But the numbers for what she paid versus what she said she couldn't afford don't make sense. She is playing the victim and doing Emmy-worthy performance, it sounds like. Make sure you and the BF are clear with each other too, whenever you guys talk moving forward. And if there are any aunts or uncles, have them be aware of her behavior too. Also, does the grandson not have his dad's grandparents? Does he have a safe place to go? Then OP replied, grandson's dad's mom and grandma are in town, and he has an older half-brother who doesn't live too far away. Great-grandparents are very good to Kisan, but certainly err on the side of spoiling him the way they do. A. Comment 2. She's a 30-year-old adult and very entitled. She's responsible for herself and any children she decides to have, including being financially responsible. If grandparents want to financially support her, their choice, and they live with the consequences of those decisions. It also appears their great-grandson will be worse in the spoiled entitled arena. If she or the grandparents have keys to either of your homes, change all locks. Also install security cameras. You can never trust addicts because they'll do anything to get money for their addiction. If your BF's daughter can afford to buy the house at market value, great. If not, sell it to someone who can. Or rent it out to anyone but family members. Going no contact to avoid all that drama is okay. Add in his daughter's non-stop lies due to addiction. Nope. Not worth the aggravation and stress and demands for money. Not the idiot. Now for the next post. I'm on a throwaway account because my friend group absolutely knows my main Reddit, and I don't want them finding this and making the situation worse. So I am trans, but I come from a culture where being trans is dangerous. For my safety, I immigrated to a much more welcoming country when I was 22. I changed my name and began going on estrogen. I am much happier, as when I meet people for the first time, they assume I am a cis female. I have a small group of friends that I made 3 years ago. One of these friends has a rather interesting hobby. She enjoys going on social media apps and basically learning everything she can about a person. I'm not really sure why she does this, as it seems very weird to me. But she basically told me that she does it because of the trauma she has from her high school friends who basically bullied her into thinking she forgot important info about them. Ever since then, she goes on social media or even listens to gossip about almost everyone that she knows just so she never misses a thing. I don't really understand it, but as someone with trauma myself, I understand that we handle things differently than what's normal. I haven't told my friends that I am trans. I understand that it seems wrong, but I just generally don't trust people with that kind of information. It's not that I don't think they will be supportive, I just don't think that they need to know this. And I'm a little afraid of our dynamic changing, as I love them a lot and can't stand to lose any more loved ones. I know that if it comes to a point where it's needed, I will tell them. But right now, it's not important information. So this friend, Amelia, fake name, was acting really weird around me. It felt like she was bringing up or talking about similar things that I haven't told anyone about. Not directly, but she'll say things like, e.g., I heard about this place. The food seems interesting there. I thought I was just going crazy at first, as the internet is free and she is allowed to see things from my hometown without it being linked to me. That is, until yesterday, she was talking to our friends about baby names as she is pregnant and brought up my freaking dead name. We made eye contact for a bit as my friends gushed about how cute it sounded, but all agreed it doesn't really fit her ethnicity. She moved on and never brought it up again. I don't feel anything towards that name, nor do I feel like she isn't allowed to name her baby after it if she so desires. But it feels like a twisted form of power play. I'm not sure how she found it, but I don't think she'll use it against me, nor out me, as she's not that type of person. I feel like maybe she's just trying to hint that she knows. Right now, I just want to call her out on what she's doing and tell her that she needs to stop, as it's making me uncomfortable. But again, I'm not sure if this is the right move, as it is her coping mechanism for her trauma. Now for the update. First of all, wow. I just want to thank everybody for the nice comments and messages that were sent to me. I'll be honest, the last 3 to 4 months have been so difficult for me, and the kind words I received really helped. Amelia gave birth to a healthy baby boy, and no, she did not name him after my dead name. I don't think I would have cared anyway, because one, like I said, I don't feel any attachment or trauma with that name. And two, it's her loss if she names her son that, because she is white as snow and I am an Arab. Regardless, I still felt happy for her and celebrated her son because she was still my friend. Second, there's a trend on TikTok or Instagram where person A will record person B and film their reaction to hearing the sentence, "I'm so hungry I could eat" name. For those who might not know, the name that they will say tends to be the name of a person that person B has a strong past with, like an ex or a dead friend or something. My friend group and I went over to my best friend's house for a girls' night to spend time with Amelia since she's been busy with her son. They did the TikTok trend, and since I don't really frequent social media nor post myself, I mostly watched and chit-chatted with my other friends who also weren't super into trends. We were having fun until Amelia pointed the phone at me and said, "Hey, my name. I'm so hungry I could eat father's name." I was beyond shocked. My dead name has no meaning to me, but my father's, like a knife twisted into me. Hearing his name made me panic. I guess my other friends noticed and told Amelia to stop and delete the video. I basically dissociated during the argument, but from what my friends told me after, Amelia claimed it was just a joke and a trend that people do. She then went on to claim I was in the wrong and outed me to my friends, who luckily didn't care. They were as accepting as I hoped. She basically got kicked out of the house after a long screaming match, and my friends told me she wasn't welcome in the friend group anymore after what she had done to me. I felt awful about this, as she was friends with them longer than I was, and felt like I was ruining things. They assured me I didn't, and they accepted me. I apologized for not telling them sooner, and they understood that it was my secret to tell. Amelia did end up posting the video, and vague posted about me and the rest of the group. It got taken down after my best friend confronted her, forced her to, and deleted the videos, but the damage was already done, and a lot more people knew. But on the brighter side, I never really got questioned by those mutual friends of Amelia, so that's good. After that, we never really heard or paid any attention to her again. I finally started therapy, and my therapist was the one who suggested updating you all as some form of closure, she said. So once again, thank you Reddit for all the kind words and messages, and hopefully nothing else this bad happens again. Now for a few comments. What is wrong with people that this became a trend? Like, yeah, let's trigger people for fun. I read your OP. Glad you're doing better and that Amelia will no longer be in your life. And yeah, that was not a trauma response on her part. That was her just stalking and taking perverse pleasure in tormenting you when she knew you couldn't say anything about it. I fear for her child, frankly, but not your problem. Go heal and live your best life. Then OP replied, thank you, and I agree. I worry about her husband mostly, but it's not my problem anymore, thankfully. Comment 2. Oh man, she sucks. I am very glad to hear that your friend group chose you and defended you. And for what it's worth, I've seen people doing that trend, but never using someone the person has a traumatic past with, just someone they haven't spoken to in a while, like an old friend or former colleague. Then OP replied, I don't know if she knew about what he did or if it was just a name that she found. I don't really want to ask either. Comment 3. Damn man, Amelia sucks. What an exhausting, toxic mess of a person. Also, congrats on finding your family, OP. Maybe you already know this, but queer people all over the world, even in progressive countries, have to set out to find a real family that accepts them and protects them. They're our chosen family. They come in all shapes and sizes. Now that they've shown you that they see you for who you are and prioritize your well-being, maybe try letting your guard down a bit and let them in a little. I know it's hard when you come from a dangerous place, but finding safety in your community is important. You've got this, and I'm so excited for you. Then OP replied, thank you. I am too. Comment 4. Wow, Amelia is a nasty piece of work. Comment 5. Her coping mechanism already sounds a bit off, but the justification of it is still plausible. But to then take the information she's learned and use it against you is absolutely inexcusable. Her coping mechanism may have led her to learn that you're trans and estranged from your family, but her choosing to use that against you is all on her. If you made it to the end of the video, comment what city you're watching from. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and have a great day.